Welcome back to the Conspiracy Outpost. Join us today as we discuss the events that took place on April 4th, 1968, when the assassination of a civil rights leader that shook the world and sparked conspiracies that are still going strong today. I'm, of course, talking about the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. I'm your host, Casey.
Who am I? I'm Mike.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Jalopy Joe. I feel like I've used that before, but it's been a minute.
Right? Yeah, I think you have.
Fine, I'm Jack John off Joe. How about that one?
Okay, so the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes, sir. So tell me what you know about Martin Luther King, Joseph.
He's talking to someone right now. He's muted.
I didn't know he was muted.
Yeah, I have it. I think he's disciplining his kids or something.
Yeah, all of my kids fucking screaming.
There it is. But yeah, what do you know, Matt?
We all
MLK,
know.
he was a Black American Baptist minister and a civil rights leader, just like his father, Martin Luther King Sr.
Yeah.
He was one of the most prominent American civil rights movement leaders from 1955 until he was assassinated in 1968. And what he did is he advanced civil rights for people of color in the United States by nonviolence and civil disobedience.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
You know, his I have a dream speech. He came up with most of that off the top of his head, right? Like he had a speech written and then he changed it in his head because the crowd was acting a certain way, and he's like, I gotta capture them, gotta capture their attention.
But that's crazy. Yeah, I didn't know he did that. I forgot what the speech.
He pulled out one of those shirt cannons
somewhere
and shot it out.
But so I'm I thought I had a dream speech because it's been so long since I've learned about MLK, from
we learned about it in
school.
school, but we don't really talk about it in everyday.
So I thought he got assassinated while he was saying his "I have a dream" speech.
No, he was at his motel or hotel or whatever the fuck it was, on the balcony or something, and someone shot him.
But that wasn't even the speech that he said that day, the day before, because he said the speech the day before, which wasn't the "I had a dream" speech, and then he was back at his hotel, and the next day that's when he was gunned down.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I thought he got shot. Why he was talking during his speech, after,
Yeah, no, he was at his hotel.
But it's been so long again since I've even fucking studied up on this guy. So
yeah, it's you know some details just because they stick, but it's you don't talk about it every day. What the fuck do you remember from history class? And for me, not much. Dude, I barely remember how to do fucking math. I was pretty good at it.
Yeah, no, dude, I just re-taught myself how to do percents. And I fucking it's calculate it without a calculator. I fucking literally, it took me 20 minutes, and I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, you don't
so
remember.
hard.
I don't remember much from history. I literally had to be reminded of the guy that assassinated him.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. I don't know who assassinated him.
The guy who they pinned it on, let me see if I can. James Earl Ray.
Ray. See, and I keep trying to say James Earl Jones, and that is not, yeah. But yeah, I know because I hear very fucking disrespectful things that people say. They'll refer to the Martin Luther King Day as James Earl Ray Day. And this literally happened at work. I was like, who's that? And then it's God, you didn't pay attention in school, did you? That's the guy who assassinated him. It's why the fuck would I remember his name out of all of those names? Because what he did wasn't important. It should ring bells in my head from the name because it's the tragedy that befell. Yeah. But It's like I'm not gonna remember the piece of shit who fucking
I
assassinated
mean, do
them.
you know the name of the guy who shot Ronald Reagan? I don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
It's like they think that their name, and some people do fucking remember it. But I mean, I don't.
Who
remember.
assassinated Lincoln?
John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So some of the stuff that some of the marches and protests and stuff that he, like in things that he led in, was some of them was the right to vote. Oh, I didn't know if you press spacebar, it scrolls down for you. That messed me all up. Okay. Here we go. The right to vote, desegregation, labor rights. He oversaw the 1955 Montgomery bus boycott.
Mm-hmm.
He became the yeah. Well, it was after Rosa Parks. So the boycott for that one, it took place December 5th, 1955 to December 20th, 1956, and is regarded as the first large-scale U.S. demonstration against segregation. 4 days before the boycott began, Rosa Parks was arrested and fined for refusing to yield her seat to a white man.
Yep.
And so that was the 1955 Montgomery bus boycott. And I didn't realize that it was for a full year. I thought it was the same year. I thought it was on like a 15-day thing. But
the boycott lasted for a full year.
Yeah, it was from December 5th, 1955 to December 20th, 1956. So a little bit
Those
over
Southern
a year.
whites were like, persistent in their ways.
You can't say it like that, Mike. It sounds like a baseball team, the Southern Whites. I'm just kidding. That's one of those teams.
Yeah.
They were stubborn, man.
Yeah, they were.
They didn't hit any home runs, by the way.
Just share the motherfucker.
Yeah, no, that's so and that shit's so fucking weird to me. Outside of just the blatantly like hateful, it's like, this is my God given right because I'm white, whatever. So move. It's just weird that anybody cares that much about a seat. Like, if you set aside the hate crime altogether, it's like, why the fuck does that matter? Like, I like sitting in the back of the bus. That's not a fucking whatever towards the whole situation, because I understand what was going on, what it represented back then. But it's so fucking weird to me because we didn't live back then. But it's fucking crazy that was a fucking part of history where it's like segregated, you in the back, us in the front. Like, that's so fucking weird. I don't know. That's
the thing that would have gotten me. Would not have been the bus. It'd been not being able to eat where I went to. Like, because there's whites only like diners and stuff.
Oh yeah, or and this was something I actually just learned recently because of Chris Rock's special. That like his mom or whatever, because of like the segregation and everything, she couldn't go to see regular dentists. She had to go to a vet. Like, black people went to vets to get their teeth looked at. Animal fucking doctors. That shit's fucking fucked up. I didn't know that was a fucking thing. I mean, I never thought about it. Like, if you sat down and thought about it, it's like, oh yeah, where did black people get like dental work done and shit like that? And I don't know if that's just for any type of fucking hospital thing outside of fucking like mainly like predominantly like black, like areas where it was like predominantly black. Like,
you think medical personnel would be like, yeah, the insides all look the same?
Yeah, you think that would be a fucking thing, but it could have also been the fact that they're going to get persecuted too.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably people that were afraid. It's like my mom's ex-boyfriend, Eric, he talked about when he was younger going to the South and he opened a door for a black person. And I mean, this wasn't way back then either. And he didn't think nothing of it. And he got dirty looks. Like, what the fuck? Like, when he was younger. Nah, he's pretty old.
Because we were raised in California and shit.
Yeah, you don't think twice fucking about things like that. And I want to say we don't, like us collectively, but I mean, you generally don't see that like everywhere you go in like our towns. You hear a lot of racist stuff, but you don't. I don't know. No. It's a different. I feel like California's racism is a little more milder than the rest of the countries. Like, there's a fucking
depending on what parts of California, yeah.
Yeah, depending, yeah. you get these little like hick towns like where I live, and you hear a lot of fucking shit, but it's always under the breath kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not okay. It's
like you didn't
100%
hear
not
this from
okay.
me, but it's like anytime you gotta say that, you know
Yeah.
you're saying something wrong.
Well, it's like the real shit that I think it was Bill Burr said the thing. It was like white people fucking getting other white people associated in their shit because it's like, hey, we both got the same color skin. Let me say some fucking off-putting racist shit to you. And it's like, what the fuck? Don't know.
Tom Segura has a joke like that where he talks about how like that he watched this guy like get jumped in a park or something.
Oh yeah. And he was like, we don't
I ain't
have
gonna
that
help
kind of,
that guy because he's white.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
we don't have that kind of camaraderie. It's like, no,
get him.
They look at me like whatever. It's like we don't have that kind of like fucking bond, like kind of thing. That shit's hella funny.
It is.
But yeah, fucking went off a little off track there.
Well, I was gonna say, like, see, you think most of that stuff would all be gone, but like not just racism, because I doubt racism will ever go away, because there's always going to be someone who hates someone. There's always going to be that group. But I'm just saying, like with the all like MLK's movements, you know, and any of the black activist movements, you know, that are trying to get equal rights for everybody. It's kind of fucked up because currently in Mississippi, there's a county right now that is right now they're basically segregating black people from white people, not like living standards, but they said because this area is primarily white, then all the black people in this area basically have to go to a black judge, and all the white people go to the white judge.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
How does that make any logical fucking
How's that legal?
sense?
I don't
Legal.
Google it, man. I'm telling you, I
the
saw
whole thing like judged by a jury. Well, that's not even a jury of peers. That's a fucking judge.
Well, it's basically like their jurors would all be white. On the black people, all their jurors will all be black. Like that's what they're doing. They're separating the county.
That's like a different type of segregation. I don't know what they're trying to pull there. But if that's the case, I want my, if I ever get in trouble for like murder or something, I want my jury to be a bunch of my friends mixed with comedians.
A bunch of
just be like, Your Honor, I didn't do it. A bunch of conspiracists. Your Honor, I didn't do it. The government made me. And then I look at the fucking the jury of all fucking like conspiracy theorists, and I just wink and smile, and they just start going fucking crazy, like just smile and just nod my head. Well, you could tell everybody. I feel like that song would be playing in the background.
It's fucked up though.
No, it is. There's a lot of fucked up fucking ridiculous shit like that. Dude, I've never fucking understood it. Like I really don't, because it's like life really is too fucking short to hate people for something so fucking small as like skin color or what they like. Like people get persecuted for the way they want to live their lives too.
Life is already difficult enough. Why are you
gonna add extra stress on shit?
Not to mention that takes a lot of effort to be just an asshole all the time.
Yeah, no, dude, that's a lot of fucking energy you're putting into that shit.
Yeah, it's like, bro, just chill.
And I'm an overly angry person all the time. I couldn't imagine fucking adding that extra hatred on there for fucking something so small as like skin color.
All right, so let's get back into his accomplishments or his activisms, if you will. But, well, this is an accomplishment. He became the first president of the SCLC, which is the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Was he also
Lutheran?
I believe so. You said Lutheran, right?
Yeah.
No, I said Southern Christian Leadership Conference.
No, but I was saying, was he a Lutheran?
I think so.
Like Luther? Oh, I don't know.
Like his last name?
No, an American Baptist minister. I don't know.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Probably because of the last name thing.
Luther. I'm Martin Luther Lutheran. I'm just kidding. He also he led an unsuccessful movement in Albany once, but many leaders of the National Civil Rights Movement and the media consider the Albany movement a failure because it did not achieve the concessions from local government, which they basically wanted to desegregate a whole area, like the whole county or whatever. But a lot of people said that it was considered a win because what's it called? Did I just write that thing twice? Well, it was considered a win because I just wrote the same. I copied the wrong fucking little paragraph. I pasted the same thing twice. But what's it called? People said that it was a success because even though that what they were trying to do didn't go through, they still had little achievements, little victories throughout. So as a whole, it was a failure, but there was little successes within it.
That's what's up.
If you will. He also helped organize some nonviolent protests in 1963 in Birmingham, Alabama. One of the leaders of the 1963 march. Oh, he was one of the leaders of the 1963 March on Washington. And that's where he did his I Have a Dream speech on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. But yeah, that's all I really wrote down for like what he was about, like what he was doing, give you an idea of the mindset. Yeah. I do have an attempt on his life right here before we do the assassination, like before we say anything about that. So on September 20th, 1958, Dr. King was signing copies of his book Stride Towards Freedom in the Blumstein's department store in Harlem. The fuck's a Blumpkin? No, just kidding. Harlem when he narrowly escaped death. Isola Curry, a mentally ill black woman who thought King was conspiring against her with communists, stabbed him in the chest with a letter opener, which nearly hit his aorta. King received first aid by officers Al Howard and Philip Romano. King underwent emergency surgery with 3 doctors. I'm not going to say their names because one guy's name is John. So we'll say Aubrey something. Yeah, they have wild last names. Anyway, he remained hospitalized for several weeks, and then Curry was found mentally ill and incompetent to stand trial. So that was just one attack that he had on his life. Because this mentally ill lady thought he was conspiring with communists against her. Just her.
just her.
So
fucking wild, man. Crazy people are like it's so weird to like hear some of the shit like that crazy people think and you go, oh yeah, you're fucking nuts. Like
so he did his speech, I've been to the mountaintop. That's the one. And then I knew it was something easy there. I was like, oh, I'm gonna remember this. And then so he did that speech the day before, and then at his hotel room, he on the evening of April 4th, 1968, he took a single rifle shot that took his life. And yeah.
Where was he shot? Like in the head or chest?
I almost said chest, but I don't know if that's right.
Casey, you're obsessed with chess. You're always saying
oh no. I was way off. Okay, so here I'll tell you. He was shot at 6:01 p.m. on Thursday, April 4th, 1968. He stood in the motel's second floor balcony. The bullet entered through his right cheek, smashed his jaw, then traveled down his spinal cord before lodging in his shoulder. Abernathy heard the shot from inside the motel room, ran to the balcony to find King on the floor. Jackson stated that after the shooting, that he cradled King's head, and as King laid on the balcony, as he laid on the balcony. But then I guess.
So was the shooter like up higher than him or something? That's a weird trajectory, yeah.
Because he was booked in room 306, but it said he was on the second floor balcony, so he was probably going down or something. Because his entourage stayed back in the room.
Just going to get some ice.
He ended up he had emergency surgery, but he died at St. Joseph's Hospital at 7:05 p.m.
Damn. Dude, that fucking sucks, man. The way he got shot sounds very painful. Like through the cheek into the spine.
Yeah, I was
I guess
thinking
you might not feel it once it goes in the spine. You might not.
The autopsy revealed that even though he was 39 years old, he had the heart of a 60-year-old, which they attributed to the stress of 13 years in civil rights movement.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
So he had heart disease?
I guess he was stressed out the whole time. Probably paranoid too.
He probably wouldn't have lived much longer.
God damn, dude. So he was physically suffering from fucking everything too.
For the greater good of mankind, you got to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
I didn't even know that he was that like I assumed what he was doing was stressful, but goddamn, the heart of a 60-year-old?
It is probably
like double his age.
Dude, and then the paranoia that probably set in too, because the FBI did. I mean, that's not a conspiracy. Or CIA, FBI, whatever. They had his phone tapped. Like they had recordings of all of his phone conversations and shit from his home. Like shit.
Yeah, the FBI basically saw him as a radical. Like he wasn't.
Yeah, so they
wasn't just a peaceful protester. Yeah, so which was all illegal too. They didn't have it. Permission to
no, they didn't. I mean, the paranoia that must have set in with that. Like we all know that we're being watched fucking constantly through our phones and everything, but to know that like the dangerous time that shit was going on then, like you knew, like they were waiting for him to do something so they could like take him out. Like that's, I don't know, that shit's fucking crazy. I don't know how you live with shit like that. I mean, the worst by fucking FBI.
Well, from the FBI guy's perspective, it's kind of like it's kind of like that Jim Carrey movie.
Wait, what's Jim
Truman Show?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Truman Show from the FBI perspective.
Oh, he did what?
Oh, you're talking about
because he did.
You're talking about you understand how he MLK could live like that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it was, but from what I heard, I may be wrong though. So, but he was having an affair and everything. Like they have recordings of shit like that he was cheating on his wife. But I don't know if that's actually accurate or not, or that's just what people say.
I mean,
that could have been something that was tried to use to discredit him. I mean,
and I think that's what it was. I think that's what they tried to use. I don't know though if it was accurate. If they used it just to discredit him, or like, cause I don't know the actual, like the truth behind him. But whatever.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, it's definitely a distraction.
It says that MLK tapes, the secret FBI recordings, accused Martin Luther King of watching and laughing as Pastor. Oh, why did it just block me? Anyway, it says they have recordings of 40 affairs. That's coming from Daily Mail. I'm not gonna. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just. This was on the top thing, so.
Yeah, top thing on Google is the FBI campaign against King began with the wiretaps, and like I was just saying before, but the wiretaps revealed that he was extramarital. He was having extramarital affairs, and the FBI shifted their focus to uncover all evidence of his infidelity by bugging and taping him in his hotel rooms. Yeah. I don't know why I said tapping, bugging and taping him in his hotel rooms, and by paying informants to spy on him. So they just doubled down on his affair. Yeah, because it's like, oh, this guy's not doing anything else like illegal, or he's not doing anything illegal. So let's soil his fucking name. So they doubled down on his like infidelity, and that's crazy,
like, bro.
You can't find anything else wrong with that. You want to destroy his character. And nowadays, people, I mean, back then it's like, oh, for shame. But nowadays it's like, it's fucked up, but it's not fucking the end of the world.
Yeah, it's bad, but it ain't.
I mean,
it ain't like,
I mean, for God's sake, most of our world leaders went to a fucking island to fuck children. I mean, put that in perspective.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess a lot of historians have disputed the authenticity of the recordings, and others have argued that they provide evidence of King's infidelity, but there's
back to Casey. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I just read about that before a long time ago, but I didn't know like if it was actual facts or what about the whole
infidelity stuff. Yeah, I don't. I've seen that before too, but I never looked into it. Nor do I really care, because even if he was sitting around laying pipe on with everybody, he was still doing good shit.
He was laying down that Martin. He was laying down that. He was laying pipe to those Martin Cougar Juniors.
Oh my god!
It doesn't matter like who he. It's like that's not the point. It's what he represented, not fucking what he did on the side or who he did on the side, rather. But it's yeah. But they were trying to find any way to fucking discredit him. Even though it's like, yeah, he's fighting for basic rights, just basic fucking rights. But should he be? He's fucking women. Like that's their logic behind it. He's fucking people that ain't his wife. Who gives a, I mean, not who gives a fuck, but I mean, who gives a fuck on what level they're trying to fucking do it? Like that's your leverage. That's what you think you have on them. That's fucking dumb. Again, fucking world leaders fuck children, fucking on islands like it's a fucking getaway vacation. Like I mean, what are we comparing it to? People do foul ass fucking emperors and fucking dictators and shit. They've done foul ass shit and never done any good shit in the world. So you had a guy that fucking cheated on, allegedly cheated on his wife, but everything he did was whatever. It's like, yeah, he had a 60-year-old's heart. Let me tell you, it would have been an 80-year-old heart if he wasn't pounding all that pussy on the side.
Oh my
god! A lot of people were chain smokers. This guy was a chain stroker. He was just getting it. Okay, so we kind of jumped to the FBI. Where were we last?
Well, I was gonna. Well, we just talked about him getting assassinated and just got on to the FBI, but I was gonna transition us into the conspiracy side.
All right, let's do it. Let's transition into conspiracies. This is our bread and butter.
So, on March 13th, 1969. Okay. I almost said that. I thought I almost said 1690 something. So let me start over. So
1684.
On March 13th, 1969, 3 days after James Earl Ray was sentenced, he recanted his guilty.
Dude, I always think you're going to say
plea.
either James Earl Jones or Charles Lee Ray.
Dude, that's why I can't remember his name. I always want to say James Earl Jones, and it's like, oh, dude, let's.
Well, it's like I also think of Charles Lee Ray.
Anybody that names their kid James Earl and then another name is automatically racist from now on. It's James Earl it.
But I guess he recanted his guilty plea, and he said he was coerced into making it, and so he he said there was this. I guess the remainder of his life he spent arguing the various conspiracies in his defense to try to prove his innocence. And
I mean, yeah, I would too. Prison seems like it sucks.
But I guess he offered to prove that he was not at the scene of the crime. He claimed that he had been set up as a decoy by a group of conspirators, including the person he said was King's actual killer, a mystery man known as only Raoul. Yeah.
Wow.
Who he first met in Montreal in 1967.
Is that what Ja Rule's name's based off of?
Ja Rule?
No, that's a Batman villain.
Raw Rule.
It's Scooby-Doo. It's Scooby-Doo Batman villain.
It's how Scooby-Doo would say Raja Ghul, Raw Rule. That's a fucking weird thing. I'm going to be real. I think the dude did kill him and try to get out of it. I mean, there might be other conspiracies, but
well, as of this moment, that's what I think too.
Yeah,
let's see the journey Casey takes our minds on.
Take us on this journey.
But according to Ray, Raoul had involved him in a gun running scheme and actions such as buying the Remington rifle and renting the room at Bessie Brewer's, and had been done all at Raoul's request as part of the scheme.
Bro, you hear Bessie Brewer's motel or whatever that you go, oh, that's definitely in the South.
Yeah, it's Raoul.
That definitely was a company founded on cousin fucking and discreet motels.
Oh my
Casey,
god!
How do you spell Raoul?
Raoul, and I don't even know if that's how you say his name, but that's how I've been saying it.
That's how I would say it too.
Raoul?
No, that's like the spelling. I don't know if that's
makes him sound like he's a threat
Raoul.
to Batman, like a threat to Gotham.
When broadcast journalist Walter Cronkite, that's what his name is. It's fucking Brett, no, I'm just kidding. It's probably pronounced.
In America,
it might be Crunk Ike. I don't know how to say his name,
it's
but
Cronkite.
Cronkite.
Yeah,
definitely don't say Cronkite.
You guys don't know who that is? He was one of the most trusted men in America at one point.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I don't watch the news, so
I'm going to be real. I don't trust anybody that America tells you to trust.
But
what's his last name?
Cronkite.
Cronkite.
Cronkite. But anyway, so he broke the news of Mr. King's assassination to the public, and he reported police have issued an all points bulletin for a well-dressed young white man seen running from the scene. But then the investigation turned to James Earl Ray, a middle-aged fugitive from Missouri State Penitentiary, where he's been serving 20 years sentence for robbery. It was this that planted him, but I guess James Earl Ray wasn't even nicely dressed or anything. I guess he was just dressed as some, just your average.
But I mean, to be real, if you're gonna assassinate someone, why are you gonna have to get dressed up for the part? That's really fucking weird to me. It's like, come on, I didn't kill this guy. I was in overalls.
But yeah, that's all I got about Mr. Raoul and his scheme to pin it all on James Earl Ray. So there was discrepancies in his the FBI's investigation into his escape plan. So they traced the FBI traced a shot to a boarding house across the street from King's Hotel. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had to burp. King's Hotel. So they discovered what appeared to be a murder kit, rifle, binoculars, and a newspaper clipping about King's stay in Memphis. Wrapped in a green blanket, fingerprint evidence pointed to Ray, and the rifle was traced to one of Ray's known aliases. Ray was captured by authorities at London Heathrow Airport as he was on his way to Brussels and eventually Rhodesia, a place where he wanted to immigrate to. This led to more doubt because how could a petty criminal who is known for fucking up even minor crimes be capable of hatching such such a good escape plan on his own?
Bro, he was caught in another country.
That's the word I was trying to say.
He was caught in another country.
He was captured by authorities at London Heathrow Airport. I don't know where that's at.
I think that's in London if he's going to Brussels.
Let me see. Yeah, he was in the UK. Yeah, sorry.
Why doesn't he get about the supermarket?
Shut the fuck up. Brussels sprouts are delicious.
So
if you make them right.
That's what I have about that. So his escape plan, like the intricate how do we just that's a pretty intricate plan. Yeah. But anyway, so that's why they're like, oh, maybe it wasn't this guy. They also, during his trial, Ray's lawyer advised him to plead guilty in order to avoid the death penalty. And he was sentenced to 99 years without a full-on criminal trial. So he was sentenced to 99 years without a criminal trial going on. And within 3 days, however, Ray did retract his admission of guilt, claiming that he was set up by the guy Raoul again. And he received another trial, but he ended up dying in 1998. There was the Mafia tie-in. That one was prominent. His boy Raoul again seems to be in the. I guess he was a gun runner for the Mafia. These were all like different pages that I pulled these things from, so I probably should have ordered them up. But I guess he was a gun runner for the Mafia, and he instructed Ray to purchase the rifle, secure the room, and then go to a 3-hour movie, leaving the rifle behind in the room. It was during this 3-hour window during this 3-hour window in which King was shot, and then the FBI concluded that.
Well, if that is what happened, then James Earl Ray deserves to be in prison for being a fucking idiot.
Yeah, and he says the FBI concluded time and again that Raul didn't exist, and yet at least one witness was willing to testify that he'd seen Ray with the man described as Raul. So the FBI was saying this guy doesn't exist, but I guess there's a witness. But of course, nothing ever happens with that.
They could have been Raul could be part of the FBI.
There's suspicions of a cover-up that Dr. King's wife, Coretta, I believe is how you say it, Coretta Scott, always suspected a conspiracy involving the FBI. Georgia State University history professor John McMillan told History.com that Mrs. King's suspicions had merit. During the 1950s and the 60s, the FBI had not only placed Dr. King and his family and his associates under surveillance, but also engaged in a campaign of harassment against King, which revealed the FBI. I don't know how to say this word. Memoranda?
Miranda?
No, it's M-E, and then it's M-O-R-A-N-D-A. It's me, Miranda, I guess.
Memoranda?
I guess.
You mean Mario?
Yeah. Mrs. King and King's children maintain that at the very least the FBI was not in the position to conduct such an unbiased investigation. And it just keeps coming back to the FBI. It just keeps circling.
Well,
down.
yeah, like if there was going to be one conspiracy that I did believe, it'd be that the FBI did it.
Yeah.
Just like with fucking JFK.
I don't know. I feel like that alien dropping the bomb inside the car was the most logical the most logical way that JFK died. No, so that was it for I had for that little quick cover up that involved his family and friends and shit. So there was the death of Judge Battle.
Wait, what? Like a judge named Battle, Judge Battle, like died and like that cut. What?
That was his name. So
it's annual duel between two judges. They beat each other to death with their little hammers.
You see that?
They got their own Hunger Games of judges going on.
Dude, do you guys watch Dave?
Some of them run for the little hammer, which is really good tool, really good. Their best weapon. They're the best with it. And
Joe.
then the best, and the smartest one runs to the plaintiff or not plaintiff. Yeah.
Do you remember the Met Gala thing on Dave?
Oh yeah, the fucking dude. That shit's hella fucking funny. I laugh so hard because fucking Jack Harlow's in fucking everything now, pretty much, and he's there, and he made me laugh. I'm not a fan of him really.
Dick in it, like,
but it's hella funny when he does that thing. He's like, this made me laugh so fucking hard because it's like, what's that smell? It's like, oh yeah, it's fucking. What did he say? What's that smell? Whatever.
Shit.
Yeah, it's shit or whatever, and he like does this like really sexual dick face, but he's like, he like grabs his dick and he was like. Whatever, it's like suck on my whatever he said about like my slab or whatever the fuck. What did he say? Yeah, he called his dick a slab and he walked away as he's grabbing his nuts and walked away. And Dave's like all confused, like, what slab? Like he was confused. Then he called his dick a slab instead of like meat, like suck on my meat or whatever, or eat my meat. He's like, my slab. He's like, slab. Like he was hella confused. That shit made me laugh so fucking hard. That and Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle was just like fucking running around like, I don't know, he just seemed like a party person.
So with Mr. Judge Battle, as a part of Ray recanting his confession, he tried to make a motion before Judge W. Preston Battle of Shelby County Criminal Court, the county in which Memphis is located, if you didn't know. But before Judge Battle can consider the motion, he died of a heart attack. His successor, Arthur C. Faquin, denied Ray's request, as did the Tennessee Supreme Court in 1997. And Aileen Ray's lawyers cited a state law that allows a new trial when the judge dies. While considering a motion, no new trial ever occurred, mostly because he died a year later, probably. So.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably weren't going to give him a trial anyway, but I'm just saying they just
yeah, it's still like fishy. It's like, hey, it's in the law. It's in the law that he can't ask for a new trial, and you guys are just like, nah, bruh. You win here. Not gonna happen, motherfucker.
For life. There ain't no Raw Rule that can save you now. Only Ja Rule when you get out. Listen to his music. Eminem smashed them.
So in 1979, the largest government investigation into Dr. King's murder was taken. Well, how do you say?
Reinvestigated?
Yeah, I guess. I lost the word that I had. But it led the House of Representatives Select Committee on Assassinations theorized that Ray committed the killings in hopes of collecting a $50,000 bounty offered by supporters of segregationists. The same committee investigated the assassination of JFK as well. And that same committee that investigated JFK, I guess that just made it so conspiracists were like, well, there it is. There it is, the icing on the cake.
Yep.
In 1993, the year that I was born, a former Memphis restaurateur by the name of Lloyd Jowers came forward to say that the mafia paid him $100,000 to plan King's assassination, and the trigger was pulled by a man named Frank Holt. As a result, Ray, who was sitting around in prison, pushed for the case to be reopened and investigated, and an investigation ensued. But of course, it went nowhere. And according to John Campbell, one of the prosecutors involved in the investigation, admits that Ray or whoever pulled the trigger could have had help. Yeah. Campbell's chicken noodle soup. Possibilities. Let me see. This is a same thing with so that was a criminal case of Lloyd Jowers. Now we have a civil case of him. In 1999, King's family sued Lloyd Jowers for Dr. King's wrongful death and won. A Shelby County jury unanimously found that Jowers and the unnamed others, including government agencies, were responsible for King's death. The judgment was only symbolic win for the King's family, however, because a civil suit cannot reverse a conviction, and the King's family only sought $100 in damage to prove that they were not motivated by financial gain. So they only asked for $100 in damages for the assassination of Mr. King. Which is when I read that, I was like, wow, that is pretty honorable, because even if I was just
I would have been like, let's get that money, man.
Yeah, even if I was just going after, to get, the right thing to happen. If they're offering me millions of dollars, I'm not gonna be like, nah, I'm cool off that,
Yeah.
$1 million ain't gonna bring my boy back, but
it'll
sure hope a little bit.
Yeah. It'll buy quite a bit of drugs and alcohol to make me forget for a while.
But I feel like that was pretty honorable of them.
Yeah.
And upstanding, because I definitely would have not have taken the $100. I would have tried to get as much as I could.
Yeah.
But that's the world that we live in. Who's that shirtless man behind you?
That's Ben.
Oh. And in 2007, a retired Memphis police sergeant, Jerry Williams, revealed in an interview with Democracy Now! That on the day that Dr. King was assassinated, the usual security team that would have included Williams himself was not deployed. This has led to speculation that local law enforcement had been involved or at least aware of a conspiracy to kill Mr. King.
So, sorry, when he said Democracy Now!, all I thought was Serenity Now!
Here's one that everybody probably assumed was gonna pop up eventually. The KKK conspiracy. So,
wow, honestly, I didn't even think of that. It's like, it's right there.
Oh, really? Yeah, so
the one I keep thinking of is just the FBI did it. Like, that's what's in my head right now. So it's like I wasn't even thinking of other ones. You know, I've been listening to what you're saying, but it's like
The
my mind's kind of made up, unfortunately.
well,
but yeah, let's hear this.
This one kind of like is almost the same as the mafia one, almost. But it says the Ku Klux Klan of Mississippi was responsible for issuing the bounty that led to Ray to murder Dr. King. They cited a dozen assassination attempts against King by white supremacist group, and the fact that on 2 occasions the white supremacists of Mississippi, the White Knights of Mississippi, actually did offer a bounty up to $100,000 to kill him.
God damn!
And that was back in the day. So
why does the KKK have so much money?
They have funding from a racist government. Bruce Wayne.
You know, when you have the FBI on your back, you have unlimited money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only difference between the FBI racists and redneck ones is they don't fuck their cousins. They only just imagine it.
So there's well, not really a conspiracy, but this ties into what we're talking about, his paranoia earlier, and him what's it called, having his heart, as a 60-year-old man instead of a 39-year-old. But on April 3rd, 1968, Dr. King delivered what would be his final public speech, and the text has haunted those present, leading them to wonder if King himself knew his life was in danger. So people speculate that he knew that was coming, like he knew that he was going to die, because he knew the FBI was watching him, and obviously fucking the majority of the country didn't like him because of his civil rights movement.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say that. The ignorant people always speak the loudest. So
yeah, that's for true.
So I don't know. I wasn't alive during this time. It'd be cool to talk to somebody who was, that can remember all this stuff going on, because I would like to know the mindset of, the general population of the United States when all this was going on. Like the people who, like the white people that weren't racist, the white people that were standing up with them, I would like to hear from someone who has some information on that. That would be pretty interesting to me, to see how the rest of the nation was acting in lieu of King's civil rights movements that he was doing, and all the other civil rights leaders too. But obviously we're just focusing in on him. So I don't know. I just I feel like it'd be interesting to hear a different perspective side of it. Not the racist perspective. I don't give a fuck about them. I just want to hear the
you just want to hear about the mindset, like what happened. Like there's so much documentation on what happened after, like people's mindset on the assassination of JFK. Like interviews and shit.
I'm sure there's probably a documentary out there. I didn't watch any documentaries on this time, but I just think it'd just be interesting to hear about,
Yeah.
And then this is the last conspiracy that I got. I saved this one for the last. But so this conspiracy said there was within the civil rights movement, there was a small subgroup of activists that set up the assassination of King themselves to make him a martyr, to push their movement and drive their cause home, basically.
Dude, were these $5 really footlongs,
man?
What'd you say, Mike?
That sounds too believable, to be honest.
Yeah, so I thought, I read that when I was reading that one. I was like, oh wow, that I can see it, because
like what if he found out that he had like those heart problems and is like, it's time to martyr myself? What if that was how it went?
Yeah, like that's what I was thinking too. Like, what if King himself is like, hey,
I'm gonna die soon anyways.
I need someone to take me out so we can fucking give our people the equal rights they deserved.
That would be fucking nuts.
That would be crazy. Also a fucking super dope move. Not super dope, like killing yourself, but I mean, that's a fucking like a
sacrifice for the greater good.
That's like
sacrifice for the greater
that's like
good.
People are playing checkers. This motherfucker's over here playing chess. Yeah.
Anybody that like toys with their own like fucking mortality like that, like just whatever, like they decide, oh hey, this is for the greater good, let me like murk myself because this is going to make everybody else or things a lot better if I do, or possibly you never actually know the outcome. But the fact is that you sacrifice yourself, like that's a crazy fucking like concept.
Yeah,
you'd have to have so much hope in your cause.
You
and
would
hope that you
and trust
are
in
what
your
you
cause
believe
that, like,
that
the
you
people
are.
that
But
you're
that's what
leaving behind to carry out your wishes are gonna do what you said. There's a lot of trust involved, you know.
Yeah, and that's what it is. That is like that's super fucking noble, because that means that you truly put all your faith, all your belief into this cause, like that things are gonna get better. So you decide it's like there's only one thing missing. I gotta Jesus myself.
He goes back 3 days later. Hey, I'm back. I told you I had a dream. I was going to return.
Jesus Christ, literally.
There's a fourth conspiracy. It's the same as the third one, except for like he doesn't die. He turns into the Force.
He's a Force ghost. He's a fucking
comes
Force
back. Yeah,
ghost.
it's
Other
Force ghost. Martin Luther King Jr.
For other revolutionaries, there's a
for other revolutionaries.
He's standing there with Yoda and Qui-Gon. Okay, well, let's get everybody's final thoughts before we do your outro, Joseph.
I believe it wasn't a conspiracy. Martin Luther King Jr. did die. And I'm just kidding. All right. All right. For real now. No, I don't know.
Well,
cool story, bro.
Okay, so if it was a conspiracy, I believe either the government did it or that martyr one seems highly probable. Like that seems like it could be done.
In all seriousness, I think the same way. I definitely think the government was involved. Yeah, he probably was just a patsy.
Well, especially since he apparently had heart problems, you know.
Yeah,
like probably because like I only have maybe like 5-10 years left, anyways. So or
yeah,
like even less than that, you know.
Like that one, like with that, or like the government one, like if he didn't like wanted to be turned into a martyr, definitely fucking the government was involved with that shit.
Yeah,
like
that's what I think.
That they just used him as a patsy. Yeah, it's very similar to the Jack Ruby and the fucking JFK thing. Like not Jack Ruby, but Lee Harvey Oswald, and then Jack Ruby shooting him, like to cover it up, except for they didn't cover this one up like that.
Yeah,
they just used him as a patsy.
I mean, they just kind of threw him in jail and was just like, yep,
just like, yeah, he's batshit crazy. They may have had a guy meet with them named Raul. And it was like, yeah, you need whatever, and it's like, no, it was Raul, it was him, and that could have been a code name that a government agent maybe used to fucking tell him, hey, this is what we're doing for your country and everything. As much as a fucking piece of shit fucking move that would be.
Like it could have. I could also believe like the Klan one too, like the Klan put a bounty on his head.
Yeah,
multiple times.
And
I hate. So I hate giving them any credit because they all seem fucking like morons.
Backwood trailer trash, fucking racist,
I don't think
inbred pieces of shits. Yeah,
I don't want to give them any credit that make anybody think that they could possibly be smart enough to fucking do anything other than just have little boys clubs where they're racist and drop the N-bomb.
I mean, back then there was like politicians in the Klan.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true.
You know what the longest sitting person on I think it was like the Senate or something like that. He was actually he was like a Grand Master. Like he's dead now, but he was like a Grand Master of the Klan.
Yeah, a Grand Wizard or whatever.
Yeah, whatever they call them, fucking dragons or fucking.
They all use fucking D&D. Why do they use D&D? It's so insulting to people like us. They use D&D fucking shit for their fucking things. It's like you racist nerds.
Oh, rolled a 1. Guess I'm racist.
You're only allowed to play as one race in that game.
The rest of the enemies.
No, your intelligent checks always fail.
What do you think, Matt?
I think like for sure the government, and then second would probably that martyr thing is kind of crazy.
Like who here believes that it was a conspiracy that happened? Like more.
I don't.
He just got shot.
Yeah, I don't. I don't.
The government.
Yeah, I
It's one of
don't.
those things where it's like you couldn't kill a spirit, so you killed the man.
Yeah, that's
for me,
exactly.
it's like 50-50. It could go either way. Because
Yeah,
there
I
are
was
some,
gonna
like
s-
shit things that happen, but there's also a lot of shady shit that goes on.
I think if it wasn't an ignorant fucking racist that fucking felt threatened by him, it was definitely an ignorant racist that felt threatened by him that the government put up to it and staged it.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, it's like, do I believe there's a conspiracy that killed MLK? Yeah, 100%. I was like, and it was probably the FBI too, because if the government doesn't have control of the people, they start killing the ones that talk and disrupt their order and employ to gain control again. We see it time and time again as as the fucking years have gone on. Anyone who wants to do any good for the sake of humanity seems to be murdered, assassinated, or suicided. And so I believe 100% it was due to a bigger conspiracy, whether it was the FBI or not. But somebody had to have been pulling some strings, like somebody had to be behind the curtain.
And I think if anything, if there's a conspiracy behind it, it's definitely the FBI. Definitely, they're behind all this fucking like type of shit. I mean, maybe they wouldn't, like modern day, maybe wouldn't, but like back then, it's like people felt like it was a threat to their country. White America back then, it was like it's a threat to our comfortability, like comfortability. I can't talk. I'm drinking. Is that even a word?
I think so.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a threat to the American way, and by American way, it's the comfort of fucking like white America, where it's like, no, dude, stay down where you belong. Like that's the fucking mentality. The whole country had it. Fucking, not the whole country. I mean, but the majority of the country did. So definitely,
I was saying the most ignorant people always speak the loudest.
Yeah, they do, because they don't ever fucking shut up. That's what the people with the biggest mouths are the dumbest.
Hello, did you miss me? I know what you're thinking. Matthew was present in his physical form, rather I was. But during my travels as a collection of data from both my physical and digital body, I seem to have created an imprint that both exists in our physical reality and the digital realm I created. I know, crazy, right? I exist in both your world and the digital platform you're ear-fucking now. Anyways, I have important news to tell you. There is a species of flatworm that penis fences as a part of its mating behavior. This species are hermaphroditic, each having its own reproductive egg-producing ovaries and testes that produce sperm. These fuckers fence using extendable two-headed dagger-like stylets, variating between pointed and hooked. The goal is to pierce their mate's epidermis and inject sperm into the hemocoel in an act known as intradermal hypodermic insemination, or traumatic insemination, and I thought I had trauma. Anywho, pairs can either compete, with only one individual transferring sperm to the other, or the pair can transfer sperm bilaterally. Both forms of sperm transfer can occur in the same species, depending on various factors. Do with this information as you please. Sick perverts. Thank you for listening to the Conspiracy Outpost.